Do you lack emotional intelligence? Take a walk with me. One of the most important and long-lasting relationships you will ever have in your lifetime is the relationship you have with yourself. When we talk about doing the work, what you're really doing is developing your self-awareness and cultivating emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is your ability to identify, understand, and manage your emotions. As you understand yourself, you'll begin to acknowledge and recognize these same emotions in others. And yes, that zit on my nose just relieved itself. And then you end up tapping into a whole new level of empathy, while also learning not to take things personally. One of the things we love to do most is to talk about all the things that other people aren't doing. You'll see the video, here's 20 signs someone lacks emotional intelligence. And you can't really have that conversation without acknowledging that there's a lot of overlap with a lot of different things when we talk about this. As a society, we have been primed in 2025 to wear all these labels like badges of honor on like a sash across your chest. Look, Mom, I just collected my anxious attacher badge. That's why I am the way I am. I just can't change and I'm never going to be different. All these labels just make things nice and tidy that, well, there's just no more work for me to do because it's just who I am. It's everyone else who lacks emotional intelligence and, well, they need to fix themselves. You might say things like, I've dated so many avoidants in my life and they just lack accountability. You'll say that from a hurt and resentful space, but have you really taken the time to clean up your side of the street? Before you get all jacked up in the comments, just recognize that's one example. Understand there's 20 more examples out there and you need to use your discernment and then apply that where appropriate. And before you complain, just remember we will often connect with people who are an energetic match to who we are currently. Sit with that one for a second because, man, that stings. You were just complaining about that person you're dating, but you're dating them. At some point you said, yes, this one, I'm gonna date this one. This is where we present you with a tool of the self-check-in. Ask yourself questions like, why do I choose the partners that I do? Are they good communicators with compassion and empathy? Are they present with me and do they use active listening skills? Do their words often align with their actions? Do they set and hold boundaries? And then ask yourself, does this relationship align with my goals, my values, and my standards for a relationship with me? If someone has the ability and the capacity to provide me with all these things in this relationship, am I being reciprocal with all of that? And a lot of times that answer's no. You say that you want and that you expect all of these things, but yet you're not providing that for the other person. Which goes back to, we align with people who are an energetic match to who we are currently being. Of course, that list of questions goes on, but this is a pattern interrupt. It's the power of the pause. It allows you to step back, zoom out, and assess your situation. It gives you the time and opportunity to ask yourself the question, how do I feel when I'm around this person? And how would I like to move forward with them? It's sometimes hard to acknowledge and accept that a lack of emotional intelligence is often just a skills gap. It wasn't caught, taught, or coached, so their normal feels distant to you. Their emotional capacity feels muted to someone who is tapped in, tuned in, and turned on to their own feelings. The real kicker is you're frustrated, irritated, resentful, and filled with contempt for a relationship that really just isn't working for you. You spend all your time trying to change the person instead of acknowledging that there's a lack of capacity there. And no, it doesn't mean that you have to dump them. It's quite the opposite. Once you have this knowledge about this person, it gives you a whole new way to interact with them. There's an acknowledgement that this person is complicated and complex, and so are you. And both of you have so many amazing and wonderful qualities that make up you as a whole person. The question then becomes, once you acknowledge their capacity for intimacy and closeness, is that okay with you? When you stop trying to fix or change them so you can feel better about the relationship, do you still love them? And for some of you, that's going to be a hard no. There's a hard line incompatibility here that just isn't going to work for you for the next 50 years. You may tell yourself, I need and deserve way more than what I'm getting. But then I would ask you, how much work have you done on yourself, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually? And have you worked to regulate your own emotions and nervous system? A lot of times what we try to change in other people are the things that we're often neglecting inside of ourselves. So as you begin to make yourself a priority and you begin to change yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, you become the invitation for the other person to do the same thing. You have to remember, we're always in a state of becoming, but what you become is always up to you.